What's good? Welcome to First String Podcast. On today's episode of First String Podcast, we have the one and only Rick Doc Walker joining us today to talk about another Commanders victory and moving on to Detroit. But we also have the one and only Coach Ray Gates from North Crowley football, State Championship North Crowley football. He'll be joining us a little later in the program. We have a new segment called Locker Clean Out. Thank you, Seawall, for providing that segment for us. Al's going to give you his foursome for the week, and Sayed's going to be leaking oil. We'll also go around the NFL playoff wild card style. So I hope you all are ready. Buckle up. Y'all know what time it is. Let's go.
It's wartime, baby. This is what you signed up for. This is what we worked hard for. You for. Y'all the first string. Y'all got to go set the tone now. Hey, let's go. Lace 'em up, it's the First String Podcast Show. Hey, let's go. They spitting facts on the First String Podcast Show. Hey, let's go. Let's go. Hey, let's go. Because it's time for the First String Podcast Show. Hey, let's go. Lace 'em up, it's the First String Podcast Show. Hey, let's go. They spitting facts on the First String Podcast Show. Imagine talking sports, having fun with the fam. At a starting lineup, First String is what you have. An entertaining stream with the Pro Bowl cast. When the viewers chime in, they gon' answer what you ask. Representing for the Queens, yeah, we got Lady A. A super knowledgeable woman who can break down any play. Say it from the South, so he rep GA. The Falcons, the Bulldogs, the whole Peach State. Drunk Uncle Al, only way you can describe him. Every time he crack the mic, you know he gon' be wildin'. Last but not least, it's my man Toothpick. Commanders is a squad and he the captain of the ship. So if you feel the vibe, go ahead and tune in. Like, subscribe, recommend to a friend. Nah, for real, like, subscribe, and recommend this to a friend. Hey, let's go. Cause it's time for the First String Podcast Show.
Welcome back to First String Podcast. Please do not forget to like and subscribe to First String Podcast. Hit the bell to enable alert for new content just like this. The most important part is that you tell a friend to tell a friend about First String Podcast. Let me get my co-host in here real fast before I start anything going down, all right? All right, so we got Sayed coming in. You guys know that Sayed right here is a Falcons fan, a Georgia Bulldog fan, ATL fan, all the way around. Braves, you name it, right?
Yeah.
Lady A is our HR department, the whole HR department all by herself, but she's also a Washington Commanders fan. Now, we are a sports podcast. We do love live sports. We have our teams, and we do root for them. So if this is your first time being a part of First String Podcast, we ask you to come back and kick it with us. We also have one co-host that will be joining us a little bit later. That's Al. Al is a free agent fan. He's a Cowboys fan. He got traded mid-season to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh Steelers got eliminated. I believe he said he's a Lions fan today. So we don't know who else he's going to be rooting for the rest of the week. Now, let's get to the reason why everybody's here. Bringing in the Super Bowl champion from the Washington Redskins. You guys know him as Rick Doc Walker. We know him as one of the Hogs. Doc, how are you?
I'm doing great, man. Good to see that Sid has recovered from getting his tail toe up. And for seeing Lady A, that's why I'm here. And
right.
And Toothpick always got your back, family. And back in the playoffs, it's been a minute. And so I'm just really enjoying being back in the victory circle. Yeah. And it feels like old times. It's been so long that I've almost forgotten how it feels, and I can't wait for Saturday night.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow. Oh, listen, Doc, you talk about Saturday night, you're getting me excited, right? But first, let's do this. Let's look back at what happened versus Tampa Bay, all right? Well, we know for the last couple of weeks, for the last month that JD5 has been playing out of his mind. He put the cape on in the fourth quarter, and he does his thing. This time, however, it seems like the whole team did their thing, and it was a team effort. Ooh. Bobby Wagner came out, set the tone, and then the defense followed and everything like that, Doc. From your perspective, and I know you've been watching and everything like that, tell us what you thought of the beginning of that Tampa Bay game.
Well, it was total blow to blow. Playoffs are, and said all kidding aside, just like the Bulldogs, it's championship competition. It goes down to the fourth quarter. And you want to be in a position to win in the fourth quarter. That's playoff, whether it's NCAA or pro football. Mm-hmm. And we didn't run the ball worth a damn.
No.
And it was in these kind of games, you can lose it. We won it on the last play of the game. So we didn't run through there. We're in a buzzsaw. But all you want to do is win these games.
Right.
And because of JD5, we now have the ability to win them. But by no stretch of the imagination should you be boasting or bragging, because there were enough flaws in that game to where if you think you can do that against the Lions, you'll be torn apart. We got to get better day to day, and we got to get better performances by our key people. You just have Houdini on your team now. So he covers up a lot of blemishes. But to not think you have blemishes, you'd be a fool. We have got to play better, and I think they're capable of doing it. But when you got JD5, I mean, you just have that dude that a lot of people have. We haven't had that kind of guy for a minute. And now that you have him, I don't want to see it end. And that's why I'm hoping that we lift ourselves up in other categories that we just didn't play well enough to win.
All right. Before we get too far, I'm going to say what's up to everybody in the chat. We got some good people in the chat right now. We got Bruce Glass in the chat. John said he has arrived. So he has a comment here. University of Miami's leaking oil. Milton Metz says all hands raise hell. JD5 has arrived. We got Al in the chat right now. He said he's watching. He's on his way home. Drive safe. Be safe there, okay?
Yes.
Okay. We got Corey on the warpath here. He says Richard Walker. All hell Doc. What is the foursome, dude? You already know. And then Doc. Doc forgot to pay the light bill.
Oh, that was
Doc
Corey.
said he said First Street Podcast got him doing. He said First Street Podcast has him doing late nights, so he's
hey man, I'm a vampire
Doc right now.
I work in the dark.
Quiet storm.
I'm a radio guy, man. Y'all doing all this TV and stuff, man. I'm a radio guy.
Yeah, he's doing the late night show.
That's right. I'm DOC after dark.
Yeah, this is the quiet storm, right? Say it. Go ahead, get in there, man.
How you doing, Doc?
Say I'm good to see you. Seriously.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm a fan.
Say it. You there?
No, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. I'm a football fan. I mean, I'm a football fan first. We had a chance to beat you guys, but we didn't do it. I like the new quarterback. Give me, from your perspective, give me something on the offensive line that you think they need to improve on.
Well, Tyler Badass, be honest, our center. Mm-hmm. And Sam Cosme, our right guard, Longhorn. These guys are playing hurt. It's no excuse. You got to play. If you're alive, you got to show up. But we're not good enough to play injured and not be 100% and move grown-ass men in this league on defensive lines if they don't want to be moved. So you got stalemates. And without JD5, it's a buzzsaw. But because you got this amazing individual that makes everybody on defense freeze for a moment, you do have a chance. And I give that offensive line, Alleghetti and all those guys, so much credit for playing beyond themselves and not falling apart. We got a rookie at left tackle in this league, and they're still viable. And so, I mean, you don't get away with that in this league usually. That's why I'm so proud of these guys. And the contribution to the tight ends and the running backs are getting in. And B-Rob, he might be able to bounce back. We able to get Eckler back. Without Eckler, stick a fork in us, but he's there. This team is so resilient that you can't count them out. Would you consider them a favorite? No, you wouldn't. You're playing the Lions. And look how they bounce back defensively. But we've got that kind of edge going in karma. We just can't afford to make a mistake. We're on thin ice, but we got JD5. So you got a chance. And all you want to do in a single limited competition is to have a chance. And so with Scary Terry, and now that we got guys coming out of the woodwork making plays, I like us because I like our heart. But we got to make plays. We got to play better than we did against Tampa.
Got it, Lady A.
So first I want to say thank you, Doc, for coming on. It's always a pleasure when we have you on.
Baby, it's just all to you.
Thank you. Because, we're here. We're here,
Lady A's not a free agent. She's not a free agent. She's got a contract with First Spring.
I'm always a free agent. I don't know what he's talking about. But
Lady A, I don't even listen to him.
Good.
All he had to do, I see him, man, can you come out? I said, Lady A gonna be there? He said, yeah.
That's all. That's it. That's all. Now, this season was so far, the season so far has been just absolutely amazing. You, per usual, at the beginning of the season, we talk about different people. We talk about the offense. We talk about the defense. I've, in particular, have said that, we're going to win at least 10 games. I'm going to put that out there again. And I was correct. Okay. They didn't want to believe me, but I was correct. Now, with that said, throughout the season, we've seen our defense. I mean, they've won games for us. And then somehow we get to the end of the season and people have forgotten. They pick apart the defense. What is your opinion on how they played, at least for the Tampa Bay game? We have some heavy hitters in there. So, of course, we got Luvu. We got, I'm going to specifically say him because that's my cousin. He doesn't know it, but that's my cousin. But how do you feel that the defense performed in this Tampa Bay game?
Well, Bobby Wagner, first of all,
I knew you were going to say
when the best player on your defensive unit shows up. And what I love about the guy who's maybe got the most age on your team, still got enough tank in the tank to have over 100 tackles again.
Yep.
He surpassed Ray Lewis. When you do anything that Ray Lewis did, that's all needs to be said about you. He's a dog. And he was out there representing, and they needed him.
Yeah.
John Allen gave you his best performance of the season coming off injury.
Right.
Payne playing with a broken thumb, but still playing. But boy, Newton. So those guys up front, they gave you everything they had, and it was enough to stay in there and not get punched out.
Right.
Because this is a one-play away game. All Tampa needed was one big play. All we needed was one big play, and the game's over. Right. That's how tight it was. And so Stanley Steele, who I just adore, Lattimore battling. You know how hard it is to be a pro and be on the top of your game and compete, let alone be out for 2 or 3 weeks, coming off a nurse and a ham, going up there playing against a dog.
Yeah.
And you hanging in there trying not to get killed, and you survive it. That's the level of the championship competition in the playoffs.
Right.
And these brothers hung in there. Y'all talk about St. Jude's. I love them. I love everybody out there because it's that hard to play in this kind of competition and not fall apart, miss a tackle, give up a play where they score and won. All you got to do is not give up the big play, not give up one over the top, make a tackle. Just don't let them break one. And we, the guys, got it. Who won on fourth down? We did.
We did.
We won on fourth down. Because with that freak, JD5, that's the thing. When you got that kind of guy on your team, it's like playing with Joe Washington, John Riggins, and these dudes. You just got to put them in a position to make the play and make sure you don't get a holding call. You don't do something stupid to stop the progress. And then you can win a game if your special teams hold up. And in this case, Zane Gonzalez, he made the play.
Yeah.
Everybody's got to contribute. So De'Ami Brown, my dude, Crowder, my guy, everybody like that. You see, you win 53 strong. Everybody on your team has got to be able to play, or they shouldn't be on your team.
Right.
If you got a backup and he can't play, that's your fault for having him on your team. I don't care nobody I can't play with. If you're on my team, you got to be able to play.
Yep.
If not,
Yes.
if I play you, that's my fault. So I'm so encouraged because these are so hard to win in the playoffs. And that's why the Lions right now, and they rolling, and I love them. But believe me, they ain't stupid. They was hoping somebody else won because at least they can figure that one out.
Right.
This dude you can't figure out. 6 games on the last play of the game. How you gonna figure that out?
Not at all.
You don't.
There's something special there. It's something special there. Doc, we have heard we've heard you talk many a times about playing for the other person beside you to your left and to your right. Yeah. Now, when Dan Quinn first joined this team, he had like special forces come in, talked about carrying a log, and if you look at that and how he has prepared this team, and you put them in these positions where we're wind up, last drive, and they're looking at each other. You hear Terry say, no words need to be said. We just look each other in the eyes at this point in time. Is this what you was talking about when you was describing those things to us back with your teams when y'all was winning Super Bowls and y'all knew, hey, it's time to win this thing right now?
Well, the thing that the Lions have going for them is their head coach. The thing Washington has going for them is their head coach. Because this guy, DQ is, you might think it's corny. You can think all those things. See, the thing Joe Gibbs did back in the Stone Ages, we got food as a group when we won. So they would bring restaurants out there and they fed us when we won. When we lost, we got nothing. Beer companies would bring out food. We got stacked. Every guy got a case of beer when we won. When we lost, we got nothing. So our whole mindset was that winner takes all. See, the way they got them, they pitched $3 million on the kitchen or whatever like that. Me personally, you get nothing if we didn't win. But they definitely got different guidelines. We were trained that way. Winner takes all. We won, you eat. You don't win, they brown bagging it, going to make you doing whatever you got to do. You on your own. These young kids growing, that's why I say the Huxtables. They feed them no matter what, got all this stuff. DQ, when they brought them logs out, the way they warm up, everybody thought it was novel. No, they do that every day. He has elevated their tempo. Going out to their practice in the past, it was like a powder puff, pillow fight. These dudes train like that SEAL training, that's a mindset. That's why you served our country. The way our military trains, it ain't nothing. It makes pro football look like a joke because you are trying to fight and to defend for your life. Our firefighters, what's going on the West Coast now? Those men that run into things I'd be running out of, how do you train for that? So DQ was able to, and the same thing's done in Detroit where they laughed at him about biting kneecaps and all that. Now they want to be him because he transformed their mindset. Our guys are different. Now, will they elevate the level of talent? Yeah, we'll get better. But you may not ever have a stronger mindset than this group has right now. The way Luvu, Armstrong, the way them boys go out there, man, they're attack dogs. These dudes really believe that they're unbeatable. And as long as they keep that belief and they don't make mistakes, now they go there and turn the ball over, drop passes, well, they ain't going to be the dead man. But if they play up to their talent and how they're coached, the way Kingsbury, going with your bad self, the boy was calling plays like he was a step ahead. And Todd Bowles is a genius to me, defensively. And it was a chess match, but JD5. See, when you got that king piece on your side, it's hard to beat.
Yeah. And right now they believe they're ready and they're getting ready for Detroit. And like you said, they have a shot because for a long time we haven't been in this tournament, right? And getting that win and the way that they had to get in, knocking off Philly, coming back after 5 turnovers. If you can't look at your teammate and fight after, you're not supposed to win a game when you turn the ball over 5 times. First off, that's like an unwritten rule of the NFL. But when you continue to fight and stay in the fight, and then everything's coming down to the wire, you got to look to that person left and right of you. You start to believe it as well said. Go ahead, get in there.
Yeah, Dan Quinn brought that same thing to Atlanta for a minute there. So if he get into the brotherhood, y'all in trouble. Anyway, we're not talking about that. The defensive line has played better as the year is going on. They have played better. I think what's his name? Payne. I think Deron Payne. I didn't get a chance to get any information on his hand.
Broke a thumb.
So he's still okay. So you're gonna put a cast on. I think his level of play has gone up as the season is going along. Who on defense do you think you need to step up the game just a little bit more besides Payne?
Everybody they suit up has got to step up.
Yep.
At this point, if you're on the team, you got to be able to go.
Okay.
It's too late. This is the last game of the season for them if they lose.
Right.
So that college thing is over. Ain't no more rookies.
Ain't no more tomorrow.
Everybody's vested. It's time to roll now. If you don't know it by now, you're never going to know it. Mm-hmm. They kept everybody. They got rid of all the garbage. I like the way these guys got rid of people. Cut first rounders, cut second rounders. No matter what round you picked it. That's some other idiot's selection. That don't mean it's their selection. They pick their people, their kind of guys. And it might not have had anything to do with football-related things. Guy might have showed up late to a meeting. May have had his phone ring in a meeting. I would cut you if your phone rang in a meeting.
Yep.
I would cut you if you showed up late. I mean, if a guy has a mental mistake, because if you don't take this serious with the checks they passing out now, I get me somebody else. Because they've been in last place. That's the mindset. Because they had poor leadership and they had all these con men running around here selling a bunch of crap. This is not that difficult if you get a bunch of people together and get them all on the same page. Who wants to change your life? That's what it comes down to. Right. Who wants a pool? Who wants a new jacuzzi? Who wants to change the standard of life? Who wants to send the kids to college? Who wants to change the lifeline of their family? That's all you got to tell them. And if they're not into that, get the hell out of here. Get rid of them because you don't need them. Because there's somebody else you can go get. Give me an undrafted free agent. I'll take a dude who's hungry. Give me World Grant. There's too many guys in our past, in our history. Quentin Lowry. I saw him the other day at Gary Clark's event. Quentin Lowry, this boy was a savage. We got too many guys that have played here in this program that were killers. All they needed was an opportunity. But we get caught up in all this PR garbage about who made this. All that's political. If you don't believe me, look at the portal. Look at all the, quote, 5 stars. They ain't worth a damn. And people come in, they're paying people that ain't worth crap. You think it's bad now. Wait till all these overpriced people on the portal, people getting paid to come in. Wait till how many flops you're going to see. You got to get people that are hungry. And that's what DQ does. They identify people. And they make sure you're serious about playing pro football. And if you are, you can play for DQ. If you're not, they're going to get rid of you.
Yeah, that NIL, we're going to have a program on the NIL. We're going to have to bring you on and talk about it as well. We've all had discussions about the NIL.
We're about to get into that.
We're about to get into garbage because what you're doing right now is that, I told you all my deal. I know how to recruit you. You got air conditioning? I don't want you. I want somebody that they had to put a fan on. They had a fan going in their bedroom, going in there, or Jet Magazine, and they were fanning themselves. There's too many creature comforts. These kids come in there soft as Jell-O. And that's the one thing you got to do, and that's what DQ and these boys do. And Peters, they figure you out before it's the vetting system. The guys we get in right now, all I need to do is be able to interview you, and I can tell you if I want you or not. Period. That's why you see JD5, he ain't waking up in the middle of the night to see how many likes he has. He waking up at 3 a.m. to make sure, it's not 5. Because he out the door at 5.
Right.
He's a different dude. And that's why they're dangerous, because their leader is not an egomaniac.
Okay. Well, it's clear that they have elevated so far this season, which, of course,
Doc, I want to say thank you. We got
Pick, you are severely delayed.
Did he interrupt you?
Like, he's delayed. I don't know what's going on. But I do have one final question.
Just take the show over, lady. Just go ahead and do your thing.
But I do have one final question for you. We've elevated this season, and there's so much hype around the team. There's stats flying left and right, records being broken. And you've been in a situation where you've been on a run, a winning team. Can you just kind of give us some insight on what it would take for this particular team to stay grounded and focused going into this Lions den, as they want to claim?
Well, they can't get behind the sticks. We got to get 3.5 yards on first down. We cannot play against the Lions on second and third and long, because Glenn is a genius defensively. He's been short on talent because some of his people have been down, but they're high on intellect. The job he's done is coach of the year, defensive coach of the year kind of job. He's taking people on short notice, and they're high IQ guys because they picked up the system in weeks of a championship team and haven't missed a beat. You got to be smart as you are talented. What we got to do is just not help anybody beat us.
Mm-hmm.
And if we get we got to run the daggone ball. If we stay true to ourselves and make it a physical game, we got to trick you every once in a while, but I want to beat you at the line of scrimmage. If we get our Fab 5 in order, that's the offensive line, and we go in attack mode, then I like our chances, because if we keep it close, we know what happens when it's close. We win.
Right.
Okay. I got you.
All right. I'm back now. Listen, Doc, thank you.
Lady A,
for holding it down.
Thank you.
Doc, we got
Sid, you have my condolences, man.
Right now.
Praying for you. Don't miss the national championship, Sid. That's all right. Maybe next year. And we'll go from that. And Lady A, whenever you need me, just holler at me.
I will.
Y'all be good, man. God bless. Oh, no, I like that. You got a hell of a basketball team. All right. Y'all be good.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Doc.
Baby.
Okay, Pick. I think Pick is frozen.
Appreciate the one and only Doc.
Go.
Terrible right now.
I don't know.
Let me know.
You need to make some calls after this show.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Pick.
You good?
All right, here we go. Let's get Coach Ray Gates on.
Hello.
Coach Ray Gates, head coach of North Crowley, the number 3 high school football team in the nation, state champion of Texas. How are you? And welcome to First Green Podcast.
Thank you guys for having me on. It's been a crazy last couple of weeks, I must say. But it's been a blessing to be able to, do all that we were able to accomplish this year and to be here with you guys tonight.
It was nice. It was nice. I got to go back and watch some of the replays because obviously work schedule, and watch you guys do some things out there. Personally, I'm from down south. I like defense. I enjoy watching the boys show up and show out, make plays and need to make plays along the way. I was even looking at some of the guys who got SEC offers. I'm from Georgia. I'm an SEC guy. What did you do to help keep that defense motivated and locked in during those games?
Well, a lot of it, just started, on the weekend with game planning, making sure we had the right game plan to put our kids in a position to be successful. We had a lot of veteran leadership on this defense. And so that definitely helps. Just really on this team, we had 48 seniors, I believe. And so it was a lot of experience on this team. So keeping our guys in the vein for the moment, wasn't a task because they've been there, and over the course of, these 3 years for us, a lot of those guys that played for me, they played when they were sophomores, and, they were 42-2 overall, over their, 3-year span. And so when you have that type of experience, those guys kind of lock in. So for us, again, it started with the game plan, and those guys took it and understand what we were trying to take away, each week from the offense. Whether if they're a run-heavy team, we wanted to make sure that, we loaded the box and make them put the ball in the air. And if they were a team that wanted to throw the ball, at times we gave teams light boxes and tried to force them to run the ball. And so our kids did a great job of just understanding, what we were asking them to do week by week.
Coach, you had some special players on this team. Like said, you got players that got SEC offers. You got, couples staying close to home, and then some that's going way out west to play at Colorado. How did you, as we spoke to Doc, how did you keep them galvanized as a team so that no individual, tried to just show out on their own, and they stayed locked in as a group together?
A lot of that, with these guys, again, they're a close-knit group. Managing the talent and the egos is always, the hardest job whenever you have a collection of talent like we did. But again, they kind of understood, the importance of what we were trying to do after, being, one game away last year, losing to Duncanville in the 5th round of the playoffs. For those guys, that gave them a measuring stick of what it was going to take in order to get over the hump. And so all of our offseason was geared towards, that moment, being prepared and ready for that moment. And that moment was bigger than all the individuals. And when you can find, moments throughout the season or experiences that you can draw upon and use that for motivation as you push forward, that kind of supersedes everything else that's going around. And so, it was just all about keeping their eyes down and how we said in our program, earmuffs and blinders. It was not listening to what everybody else was saying and just the blinders of keeping our eyes straight, on a week-to-week opponent. And we just made it all about us, and I tell our kids every week, if we are a better version of ourselves this week than we were last week, then we're moving in the right direction. And I think we just had little ways of just keeping them, in the right mind frame as we moved and progressed throughout the season.
Lady A.
Well, first I want to say congratulations. And I hear that you also had a Coach of the Year award as well.
Yes, ma'am. I got Max Preps National Coach of the Year.
Perfect. Congratulations on that. I want to point out the fact that Texas is heavy on football at the high school level. It's a large state, so it is a feat. It definitely speaks volumes to your team. Can you speak on just the talent and getting that talent to come to your school, in such a large state, so heavy in football, all of that? How do you, manage that, getting your talent, putting the right people in the right places, things like that?
Well, it starts with the guys that you bring in as far as coaches. I have a great staff. They're unbelievable young men that really care about our kids. They go beyond the call of duty for our kids, and they know that, North Crowley, our kids, they're going to need us in more ways than not. And if you're not willing to do the extra, then this isn't the place for you. And so we build those relationships from the beginning with our kids. They love us, in such a way that we reciprocate. And we tell them all the time that we're going to show you that we love you. A lot of people say, we care about you, we love you, but we're going to show you by what we do. We understand that love is an action. And so just the things that we do outside of football, with our kids, whether it's, I got a huge smoker, I'll pull it up, I'll cook for the kids, whether it's, renting game trucks and just having just kind of a party for our kids, or if it's taking them to the water park, or we're going to the bowling alley. Tonight we were, downtown Fort Worth with the mayor, and they honored us tonight. It was so many things within football and outside of football that attract kids to North Crowley, and the kids that we have, they stay home, and then your kids are going to be your biggest, supporters. And so everyone in our program just bragging on how we do things and why we do things. Other people around, they see that and they want to be a part of it. And so we were able to build, a culture that is sustaining and running at an optimum level right now that allows us to have the kids that we have and the community to buy into the vision that we set. So it's definitely been a blessing.
Coach, I'm gonna toss a softball to you for say it real quick. So my favorite unit has the name on your squad, the Wall. Could you please tell Said who the Wall is?
The Wall is the reason why we played 16 this year. They're a collection of guys that often don't get a lot of the accolades. People really don't know who they are, but they definitely know who they are when things don't go right. These are the guys that do all the dirty work. It has to be the most cohesive unit on the field. On and off the field, they have the strongest bond. They work in tandem, from the things that are said on the field to the things that are just felt. And, for us, the Wall is our offensive line, and it started, up front with, 4 guys that were seniors that played a lot of football, with a left tackle who's going to be the number 1, tackle in the country in the next year's class. So that group is really, really special. You don't do what we did offensively. You don't put up the type of yards that we put up. You don't beat the people that we beat without, a group up front that could handle it. And no matter what we put on their plate, they were able to digest it. And that was the reason why we were, against state champs.
Well, let me tell you, let me go down this line. Okay, I'm going to name off some of the folks that they beat. Lancaster, DeSoto, Guy in Rockwall. These are heavy hitters. Lake Ridge. These are heavy hitters in the state of Texas. Permian, Capel, Allen, Duncanville, which he spoke of last. This thing has been building, right? And then they beat Westlake in the state championship. Now, you may say, hold on, well, North Crowley, they won a state championship. But let me tell you, you got to hear these scores. They 70-17 over Rockwall. When I tell you they're putting up numbers, they're putting up numbers. Now, Coach, let's talk about some of the special talent that you had. Your quarterback, he's going to North Texas, dual threat quarterback, amazing arm. Tell us about him, because he, of course, was the leader of your team.
Well, Chris Jimerson is a special kid. He's played a lot of football. He's been a 4-year guy for us. He leaves here with over 9,000 yards passing for his career, over 130 touchdown passes for his career, over 2,000 yards rushing as a quarterback, several rushing touchdowns. I mean, he'll go down in the history books in the state of Texas, up there with some of the best that you can mention over the course of his career. And the things that he was able to do has allowed us to grow, into what we became this year. And we had, point-wise, I mean, we scored over 830 points. That's the most, in the DFW area, ranked very high up there on the all-time list. We beat 6 teams this year with combined 24 state championships in the state of Texas at the highest level in classification. So again, a lot of people that don't understand or don't know, I mean, it was no small feat. There wasn't anyone out there that I could find in the public schools that played a tougher schedule than we did, non-district, and the road that we went through in the playoffs, playing, a lot of iconic programs in the state of Texas, and many that you find every year that's rated top 10 in the nation. So Chris Jimerson led that charge. We knew we had a chance in every game because we had that guy. And at any level of football, if you don't have a quarterback, you don't have a chance.
That's right.
And that's the most important position, all the way down, to Pop Warner, to the NFL. And so we had that guy, and if he wasn't 5'10" and he was 6 foot, he'd be an Elite 11 quarterback. He'd be one of the best in the country because he can do it all. So we definitely got some huge shoes to fill with Chris Jimerson.
Well, he plays bigger than 5'10", Coach, because I could have swore he was like 6'2". He plays way bigger. Amazing head on the shoulder.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Well, it's not much to really say. It sounds like you guys have done it all, defeated everybody under the sun. I mean, let's talk about where you go from here. You're losing a lot of seniors, and like you said, it's large shoes to fill. Can you state, just say what you're telling your juniors who are going to step up now to into those senior spots? Can you just give us some insight of what you're telling them to prepare them?
Well, really, it's about your culture that you build. Your culture carries, and no matter if it's during the season or if it's in the off season, that is how programs are built. They understand what the standard is, and our standard is bigger than any standard that anybody else can put on us. We will live up to our standard, and we understand what that looks like, and they've been a part of it. We had a lot of guys that were juniors and sophomores, and a couple of freshmen that were a part of this team and that played in big ways. And so we are strategic in the way that we're able to play. Although we had a lot of seniors, we're strategic in the way that we played a lot of guys that were sophomores, juniors, and we had 3 freshmen on varsity. And so although we lose a lot, we bring back a lot of experience in certain situations. And we're very, very talented. We had 25 guys on this team that have Division I offers, and we had 9 seniors sign Division I on signing day. We'll have another 2 seniors that will sign Division I on the second signing day, and we'll have another 6 to 8 kids that'll have an opportunity to sign Division II, Division III. And so we'll bring back a lot of talent, and we have a lot of talent coming in our middle school feeders and in our 9th grade class that, we'll be asking those guys to step up. But you have to have an off-season program that, builds guys. We're in our strength phase right now where we're heavy in the weight room. We just really started, and we'll go out of that phase and we'll enter what we call boot camp. And that's where we really make, our football team. It's militaristic in every single way. It's mental anguish, and we put them in every disadvantaged position that they possibly can be in. And when we come out of boot camp, we utilize that throughout the season, letting our kids know that they've been through something. They've been, in situations where it wasn't, in their favor, and they came out of that. We're going to forge them under fire. And so when the season is here, we know what type of football team we have. We're not going to go in week 1, week 2, week 3 saying, well, we got to figure out who we are. We know who we are based on what we put our kids through.
All right. So Al's asking a question here. He's the co-host that's on its way. He's asking who are your players to watch next year, and how do you prepare them to defend their championship next season? I think you just talked about the boot camp and everything, but let us know who we should be watching for next year.
Well, we have our running back. We had 3 running backs this year that played a lot. 2 of them were seniors. One went to Utah. The other one, he just came back from Purdue on a trip. He's going to Arizona here, I think, this weekend. So, we lose 2 of those guys in the backfield, but we have a kid who's a sophomore that has Ole Miss offer. He has Ole Miss, Utah, Arkansas State, Texas State, and he has somebody else that I cannot remember off the top of my head. But he's going to be, the guy that we can feature in the backfield, and we can turn around and give him the ball. On the outside, a wide receiver position, we have, 4 guys that have Division, one offers, and they're all 6'3", 6'4" above. And so we have a lot of talent there that will have an opportunity to throw the ball to on the outside. We have a tight end that started for us as a freshman, and Jeremy Cooper, who is, 6'4", 220, and he has 14, 15 Division I offers. We have, again, the number 1, offensive tackle in the state right now, over 30 offers. John Turntine, he's 6'5", 300-pound kid. He's a 4.0 kid, wanted to be a neurosurgeon, and so we have a lot coming back on that side of the ball. Quarterback position, we'll have, a little competition with 3 guys that are very capable of taking over at the helm. And then when you look at our defensive side of the ball, I'm really excited about, because we have a lot of guys, coming back for the most part, our entire secondary, except for one position. be back. And, it's headlined with, a guy who will be a senior next year, and Aaron Bradshaw, who's 6'3", 190-pound safety, very vocal kid. He's an extension of a coach on the field. He's played a lot of football for us. We have a sophomore that, is coming back, and, Aaron has 4 or 5 offers. My sophomore, he has 3 or 4 offers back there. He'll be back. We have a corner in Thomas Cook, that has played as a sophomore, and he's going to be a senior for us next year. And, he has Texas State offer. Then the linebackers, we have two guys we're really, really excited about, with a good group that will make us solid in defensive line, and could be really, really special for us with, we got a couple of defensive ends that are 6'4", 6'5", and we have one that just came at 6'6". And so we're going to be long, lean, mean, fast on the defensive line, and create a lot of havoc for people. So we have the pieces. It's going to be about putting it together, and it won't look like it looked this year, and that's okay. But it'll look like it needs to look when we bake this cake.
Yes, sir. All right, Coach, I got a couple players I want to talk to you about. Like I said, I was there. I saw a lot of this go down. I want to talk to you about Ashbury, 0, Deuce Cunningham, and then Quentin Gibbs.
Well, those guys, Quentin is at Colorado right now. Deuce is at Texas, and, that's Jonathan Cunningham and Jabril Ashbury. He was the defensive MVP, my Mike Backer, dude.
He is a dude.
Yeah, several trips. I think he's going to Weber State this weekend. He has Murray State he's going to, has to get out to Townsend. He's got a couple of others. And I was just at the National Coaches Convention, so I know some other coaches will be in on him as well. But, those guys, again, all 3 guys that you mentioned at all, Deuce and Jonathan Cunningham and Jabril, they were on varsity as sophomores and played for us as sophomores. So those guys understood our defense. Deuce is a long, athletic guy, 6'3", 185-pound linebacker that you can play inside, outside. He played a little bit of safety for us, and he's an early enroll at Texas right now. And, kid can run, like the wind, and a physical presence. And then Jabril Ashbury is just the old school throwback, Mike Backer. Like, he's going to feel it, and he's going to feel it with a bad attitude. And when he hits you, you've been hit, and he has a lot of versatility. He was a coach on the field. We come in and we put up the top 15 formations of each team that we're playing every weekend, and we have auto checks. He memorized every auto check. He called the defense. He's that type of kid. And so we put a lot on our kids, and they were able to handle it. And so because of it, we were really successful.
Sid, I'm gonna tell you what, as I'm sitting here watching North Crowley play, and I see 0, right? Sid, I'm telling you, man, as soon as the ball was snapped, he was in holes. And the only thing I could think of was, Sid, this dude looked like Dean out here. He looked like your guy, Dean. I was like, what kind of film do you have these guys watching, Coach? Because watching 0 and 2, they're going to lead you to the ball every time.
Well, they're film junkies. And again, I mean, it's, those guys, they were leaders on our football team. And you have to have that type of leadership if you're going to play the type of defense that we play versus the offenses that we played. And again, our scheme allows us, we're a 4-3 cover 2 base team. But because of the guys that we had and their ability to play multiple positions, we were able to get an odd, some 3 high safety, 3-3-5 stuff. We could change it up on a dime, which presented a lot of issues for teams. But you have to have the versatility to be able to do that. And you have to have the kids that have the mental fortitude to understand what we're trying to ask of them. And they lead the charge in that. And so, I just, I'm grateful for those guys and the way that they approach practice, the way they approach the games, because the guys that we have coming back, they know what it looks like based on the work and the leadership, of those 2 guys. And so hopefully they can replicate that, because we're going to lean on them a lot this year.
Well, Coach, it has been our pleasure. I tried to get you on here a lot, You know, I know you were very, very busy. It takes a village, is what Alex said. It takes a village to develop a championship program. How big is the role of your parents playing in the sports and what you're doing?
So when I got there, we coined, 817. We put it on our helmets.
Mm-hmm.
And that's our zip code here in Fort Worth, Tarrant County. And it was just one of those subliminal messages that everything that we are going to do is going to be for our city. And if you know anything about DFW, there's a lot of talk about DFW. Some of the best football in the country is played in an area that is about a 10-mile radius. And I came out of that area. I coached at Cedar Hill. And so at Cedar Hill, next door you have Duncanville, you have DeSoto, you have Sock. All of those schools are state championship, schools. And then you have Lancaster, not very far from there. Waxahachie, who's an emerging program right now. Red Oak, who's done very well. Midlothian, who's made deep playoff runs. This is all within a 10-mile radius. And so when most scouts come to this area and they recruit, they always hit the golden triangle of I-20 is what we call it. And so out of that triangle, I can put together a team to go play anybody in the country, and I dare them. Like, it's really that good of football players. Some of the best football players come out of that area. And so when people talk about Texas football and they talk about the Metroplex, a lot of times it was about the D, as I would always say, like Dallas. Like, nobody was talking about Fort Worth football. And so I wanted to make sure that we put the light on Fort Worth football. Like, now when you talk about DFW, you can't forget the FW, because we are playing ball to over here. And, we have become kind of the lighthouse, school for the city. And so, that was one of the things that, I did when we played our crosstown rivalry, the last game of the season. We had, white helmets. We hadn't worn that all year. And we had a new decal with the city skyline on it, with our logo above it. And on the back of the helmet, I don't know, I just came up with just put on the back of our helmets for the city. And I had no idea how that was going to run and be kind of our rally cry throughout, the playoff run that we were on. And so I said all that to say, with the community, when we say for the city, when we look up, in the state game in the Cowboy Stadium, and it's 40,000 people in the stands, and 817
was everywhere.
Show up. Like, that was a moment that I'll never, ever forget in my life. And it was an opportunity to show everybody that if you give people something positive to get behind, they will support you, especially our people, because we don't get an opportunity to see it done in the way and the light that we did it this year. Our community jumped on and they were riding with us. And it wasn't just this year. I mean, it's been a slow burn. After our first year coming in, we went 12-0. We went 12-0. We lost in the third round of the playoffs, so we ended up being 12-1. We hadn't won 12 ball games since 2003. 2003. We never won 12 ball games straight. We never won an outright district championship. There were teams that we played on our schedule that we never beat. And we did all that in my first year. And we replicated it the last 2 years. And I'm sitting here in 3 seasons at North Crowley doing something that has never been done. We're back-to-back undefeated district champions. We haven't lost a game in the regular season in 3 years. It's a lot to be proud of as I sit here and I can reflect back on it. But all of that is because our community support is unbelievable. They show up in ways that's unexplainable. Our parents, game day meals they cook for our kids. Like, they just come together for the good of our kids, and all of that in culmination with the resources that we have from our school district, our superintendent, our school administration. It's a state championship effort from everybody involved, and it produced the result this year.
Well, like I said, Coach, it was amazing. Lady A, you got something?
Well, first I said I love it, but as you speak to the community, and you spoke of your feeder schools, I do have a question. What do you say to the parents and these potential players from your feeder schools as they enter into that high school realm to prepare themselves for this level of athletics?
Man, kids are competitive, and they're playing ball when they're 5, years old, and now we have these huge, travel leagues, and we have a lot of kids that travel around the country and play some of the top teams, on youth league, football. And so our kids come in with a competitive edge. If you watch the Under Armour All-American game for middle school, I had Quentin Gibson, who's going to Colorado. He played in the game the next day I think it was the same day. He played in the game later for the older guys, the varsity 18-year-old kids. And then they had the middle school All-American game before it. I had 4 kids that go to my middle school that played in it. And this is across the country. This is kids all over the country, and I got a middle school that has 4 of them. And so they come in being in situations where they've played in games that have a lot of magnitude relative to the level that they're on. And they want to compete, and their parents want them to be in those type of positions to come in and to compete. And so, when they come to us, the first thing that we talk about, our program, it's so in depth. It's not just about the X's and O's. Our mission statement of our program is to create champions in all areas of life. And so, this is not just X's and O's. This is off the field. How do we make our kids better? And it starts with the vision of our program, which is Galatians 6:9. And you can ask our kids, and they'll tell you, do not become weary in doing good, for you will reap a harvest if you faint not. And that goes into our core values of our program. And you ask our kids our core values, they'll rattle it off to you. And our standard of behavior, be above average. All of those things is a culture that we've created to give our kids an understanding of the importance of what we're asking them to do, and not to allow football to use them and to supersede them, but to supersede football and to use football to get what you need in life and where you want to go. And so our kids, they come in, they're fired up because of what we've done, because of what they've seen, because of the players, because we have 25 kids that get an opportunity to go play Division I football, because their favorite school walks in my office and come talks to our kids. Like, all of that goes into our middle school being excited about being Panthers, and then building that culture. What we do, we have a day where it's all access, and it's not just our middle schools. I mean, I have 500 youth football kids in our middle schools at one of our football games, and we treat it like a true game day in it, like college experience. They get a field pass, got North Crowley Panthers field access. We have a tailgate, we feed them, they come into the stadium, we're pregame and we're on the field. They go in the locker room, they see what that environment is like. They go on the field, they circle the field, then we all go into the locker room, they run out of the tunnel with us, and then we go play a football game, and they get an opportunity for a small, moment to see what it's like to be a North Crowley, football Panther. And, we make it, it's not inclusive. It's, everybody has a front row seat. Everybody feels like they're stakeholders in the program. And then we capture, the hearts of kids when, they can remember, hey, I remember, Quentin Gibson or Chris Jimerson, or I remember that time when we ran at the tunnel. Like, we're creating those memories for our kids. And then the last thing I will say kind of with that is that all of those guys as well, like, they practice at our facilities. Our facilities are phenomenal. We passed a $1 billion bond. I got brand new locker rooms coming, weight room.
Just got 2,000 from the Cowboys.
We have 5 turf football fields. So, like, all those guys, they either play their games on Saturdays at my field, or they're practicing in our indoor, so they're always on my campus. So it feels like home. And so that's how you continue to just keep them coming.
Perfect.
Well, Coach, I think the last thing that Stead's going to ask is that you bring them Georgia Bulldogs down here to get some of his they need some reinforcements.
Coach Searles has been in. They recruited my offensive tackle. They recruited I got a kid that's going to Missouri. He's actually just enrolled at Missouri a couple of days ago. So they've you know, they're in our program, so they're well aware of what we have, you know, and there's dogs out here in Texas, man. It's dogs for real. So,
well, Al just joined us. Al, you got any more questions for Coach?
Nah, man. I just wanted to kind of say I've asked some of the things. I apologize for texting and driving, but it's a long story, man. Just man, it's just the job you did, man. I mean, it's you came, like you said, you came out of a hard district, a hard state. Texas football is all time. It's big time. There's movies made about Texas football, and like I said, I appreciate what you said about the parents and the whole community. And I think just getting ready for next year, is there a different mentality that you have to coach with? Because, like I said, defending is a little different than chasing, and you've been chasing this. Now you got it. You got to guess. Are you finding new ways to get these guys motivated and ready to be the hunted? Now that you weren't the hunted before, because you've been very good at last year, but when you got that state championship on your back and those rings on your fingers, guys come at you a little different. Are you having to find different ways to motivate and get these guys ready in regards to training, mentally, physically, anything along those lines?
That's a really good question. You know, it takes a certain effort to get there. It takes a different effort to sustain it, you know, and like you said, you know, once you were the hunter and now you're the hunted, you know, but I think with us and just kind of how we approach everything is that, you know, we want all the smoke. Like, we're not ducking the smoke. We're not running from anybody. Like, if you want to play, I'm going to tell you, line that shit up and let's go. Like, that's just our mentality of who we are, right. You know, and at the end of the day, it's a game. And I know that if, you know, we're playing someone that can push us, it's going to make us better. I don't want to play the team that I know going into the game that we're going to win by 30, win by 40. As a man, I've never found out anything good about myself. You know, when things went my way, it's when my back was up against the wall that I found out who I was as a man. And so as for our team, we take that same approach. That's the reason why we scheduled the schedule the way we did this year. And so for us, you know, our approach is going to be, we got to figure it out because every team is different. What made this past team tick may not make this team tick. And so we're literally, this is our first week back in the weight room. And we haven't, you know, done enough for me to say this is what we need or this is what we're missing. All I know is that we have the pieces. It's our job right now to make sure that as we build this football team, we put the right guys in the right position in the right places to be successful. And then when we have the competitive opportunities to go and do our 7-on-7 and do our spring ball and kind of evaluate for this team, we'll get a good idea of where we stand and what we need to do in order to fill the gaps. But I can tell you right now, we're not going to allow our guys to go in and coast at any means at all. Like what we ask our guys to do in the off season, not everybody can do what we do, you know, and it's a reason why we have been able to get to where we have in such a short amount of time. And the expectation is to stay there. And so as we go through this off season, we're going to grind even harder. We're going to push them even further because the guys that got us to this point, you know, most of those guys are gone. And now it's going to be these guys that have to come in and carry the legacy and take it to another level. And so that's the thing that intrigues me. That's the reason why I'm fired up. That's the reason why I changed my flight last night while I was in Charlotte to get back. I took a flight at 5 o'clock in the morning to get back so I could see my guys today because I'm ready to go, and I know they're going to be ready for the challenge.
Well, I watched more Texas high school football than I ever have in my life, thanks to that guy Pickup doing that corner, man. I was thoroughly impressed. I have a nephew that used to play for Mater Dei, and I know a lot of that California stuff. But I was impressed with what I saw on the field from you guys in Texas, especially being a public high school out of the state. Not that it makes a difference because you all have a wealth of talent, but I was thoroughly impressed, man. It was a joy to watch you all this year for sure.
Let me tell you how this went, Coach. So Al is in Maryland. Me and Sid are down here in Fort Worth, okay? So I told Sid about the game. I said, Sid, you got to get here. We got to go to this game. He said, okay, Pick, I'm leaving work. I FaceTime Al, right? Kickoff, a touchback. I don't think it may be like a 15-yard run. First play, you're running back out the door. Al said, "Oh my God!" He said, "What is he running? A 4.2, 4.3?" I said, "I don't know, Al." I said, "I don't know, but you know." I said, "Next thing you know, they kick off, interception. The safety takes it back to the house." I said, "Sid, you better hurry up because it's about to be 48-0 at the half." I think it was 4 plays that Al watched and said, "This is ridiculous."
I said, who they playing? And then I had to look at the team y'all playing. I was like, they ain't playing no slouches. I said, hold on, Pick. Let me sit down, man. I went to the bathroom and came back to score, and they had double digits on the scoreboard, man. I said, hold up, man. What's going on?
I'm just gonna go home because that game is over already.
I'm from a deep part of Georgia where it's called Wintersville, USA. People laugh about it, but I understand what your guys are doing. Because I've seen it. And it's a run that people won't understand for years. And if you have this cycle like you have going right now, you guys will start heading that direction, and people won't understand it. But once they buy into it, middle school, like you say, middle school feeders up to the high school, it's a machine.
Yep.
And that's what I saw that firsthand in Georgia. And that's what they do. And it's like a wave. I mean, now the area that I was in now is so many people there, and it's such a mess of people there. It's everybody spread out, everybody close together, so it's a little bit different now. Every now and then they'll get on a nice run. I can watch it from the internet. I can watch them play, and they get close to state championship, whatever. But yeah, the run you guys are doing now is remarkable.
Thank you.
Coach, we wanted to have you on just because I wanted to share this experience with everybody else. It was great watching your football team this year. Wish you nothing but luck next year. You will see me on the sideline again, Coach. I'll be there for sure to see you, cheer you on, and support you.
Appreciate it. Thank you guys again.
All right, congratulations. That is Coach Ray Gates from North Crowley football state championship #3 team in the nation. We'll look forward to seeing what he does.
I want to see what number 1 and number 2 was, because like I said, I kept saying number 6, and everything I saw, they was taking one back to the house.
Mm-hmm. Man, it was amazing. It was a good game. Oh my God, that was a great game too. Al said, what is he running? 4-2, 4-3?
Man, like he was shot out of a cannon, man. Like
I told y'all the one-handed catch that Quentin Gibson made, and
them guys, man, play good ball. And like you said, they had good explosive, but like you said, the defense, I think, was in their own right just as impressive as the offense. Because I mean, like I said, they weren't like winning 56 to 40. They went in 56 like nothing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It was like I said, when they put the hammer,
that was at the half. That was at the half.
Hammer, you know what I'm saying? They was definitely the hammer, not the nail.
That's true. That's true.
Real quick, I want to give a shout out to Dolly Dallas and Marshall Islands. That's not far from my family, about a little less than 3,000 miles from my family in Guam. So shout out to Polynesia.
Wait, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Islands. I got people in
the
islands.
Islands checking in on us, lady. Hey, we got the Islands checking in.
I gotta say something,
Still a ticket, man. It's cold up here, man. How about that?
Yeah, hey, get the whole podcast there. We would love that.
That's an expensive ticket. Okay,
it's okay. We asking for sponsors right now.
We got the budget up. We good.
And it's a long flight, just so y'all know. Okay?
It's okay. Go to sleep, wake up, you're still in the air. It's okay.
Right. Matter of fact, Pick, you've been there. You know it's a long flight.
I have. Yes. Go to sleep, wake up, and you still in the air. Yes, I get it. Yeah. Download you a couple of hundred movies.
Right. I was about to say, don't you say a couple.
Get the battle Wi-Fi, man, and watch it with the Wi-Fi in the movies, man. Stop being cheap.
Well, at the time, I think my son was on Cars, Spider-Man, and stuff like that. So I had to download, stuff that he wanted to see.
Yeah.
So I download like 5 movies, and it wasn't enough.
But with kids, you can replay some of those.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Over and over and over.
Okay, so listen, it's time for us to go around the NFL. And let's talk about some of the games that we had last week.
Mm-hmm. Let's do that.
It didn't start out well for us, Sid.
Can I say one thing?
What's happening now?
I've been told, and I would acknowledge that it was a very good win, and congratulations to the Washington Commanders on you all's win last week. A very unexpected but very well-deserved game that you won that was not given to you. So I will say that, and I promised a couple friends that are in the chat that I would acknowledge them because they've told me that I have, even though I give an unbiased commentary, that I am kind of hard on you all, and I was a little mean to you all last week about my expectations for you all. So, like I said, one of my other things I wanted to get on here for Doc. I'm so mad I missed it, but we're called because I'm thinking you're playing with house money now. So, truthfully, like I said, you all, this season has been a success. Not that it's over, but this season has been a success. And where you all started and where you've come from, like I said, I wish you all well. As much as I could, as much as I can. But congratulations. So I said,
hold on. We got a comment here from JK. Welcome, JK. It says Lions getting treated like they repeat Super Bowl contenders like Daniels don't have a chance to win. Shaking my head.
Right.
I definitely, he's the X factor. I said that in one of my comments, or I was texting and driving. I said that he is the X factor, and Detroit is known to have trouble against mobile quarterbacks. So that bodes very well in your favor. And the fact that the defense is a little deficient in regards to the injuries. But like I said, at this time of year, injuries, everybody's injured. So
everybody's injured.
You got to play with who you put the jerseys on. So like I said, and like Doc said, everybody got to come to play. So
I said if you on my team and you can't play, that's my fault.
Yeah. Yep, that's true.
Let's start off with the Texans Chargers. Texans Chargers.
I told y'all, Chargers wasn't right.
But they wasn't right.
Okay. Because we always go around the league, right?
We do.
Like doing it twice.
Yeah, it will be twice.
Oh, okay. Well, then let's do this. We got a new segment. It's an old new segment. It's an old new segment, and it didn't load.
That's all right. I got one in there. Hold on, I got it for you. Let me help you out.
Wait.
There you go.
I told you I got one for you.
Got it, baby. That thing look a little empty, Sid. What happened? What happened to the jersey, Sid?
Hold on. Hey, I got jerseys. Who you want to start with?
The Chargers.
You want to start with who?
The Chargers.
No, Chargers don't want. Let's start with somebody else. Theirs didn't load in.
Hold on. Let's go this way now.
Here, let's
go this way.
Wow, man.
Locker clean out. Chargers.
You're right. That one didn't load. I got the rest of them though.
Oh yeah.
He got all
well, first off, let's talk about the Chargers. The Chargers are in serious need of Justin Herbert.
Can they stop putting him in the top 5, please? Can they stop crowning this boy before he's ready? All we heard was, for the last couple of years, Justin Herbert's a top 5, top 10 quarterback.
Who?
Justin Herbert. Some of the pundits have told of how, all this arm talent. Hey, man.
In the playoffs, he's not that.
Garbage. Hot garbage.
But there are a lot of people who they can be great, or okay during the season, and then when you get to the playoffs, it's who are you? And in truth, it goes the other way too. We've seen, matter of fact, Patrick Mahomes, we've seen him flow through a season one time. It's all lackadaisical. And then we get to the playoffs, and then it's like, okay, where was this the whole season? But that's because he knew he was going to get there.
That's Patrick Mahomes, too.
Right. But I'm saying, I was giving the example of the other way. But in this situation, it's like, get to the playoffs, and I guess he got cold feet. I don't know.
Man threw more picks in that game than he did all season.
Yeah.
But, however, old Harbaugh over there was a running team. It was a running team, and he limited the amount of times that Herbert passed. Maybe it was because he didn't have the wide receivers that he need, or maybe it's because he didn't trust the offense in Herbert's hand. Because
But he sneakily put up decent stats. Like I said, his first 4 or 5 years, he's thrown for more yards than anybody else. And granted, that was a lot of the previous years. But I think this year, if I'm not correct, he was close, if not over 4,000 yards. I mean, it wasn't like he didn't throw it at all. It's just like I said, they need to start riding him like they've done other quarterbacks, like your Lamar and some of these other quarterbacks who have not the greatest performances, nowhere near as bad as he's had in the last 2 playoff performances, losing a 27-point lead and now throwing 4 picks. But like I said, the media shapes, or some of the other media out there shapes how they want it to appear, who struggles and who doesn't. But we see the real stats in regards to it. It's right in front of our eyes. He's not top tier. He's a good.
Okay, hold on. We can't dump all this on Justin Herbert. They ran into a buzzsaw of the Rams. Come on, let's be realistic now.
They didn't play the Rams. They played the Texans.
I mean,
struggling Texans from a lot.
They played. Wait. I'm sorry. I'm thinking about something else. They played a Texan team that has a great pass rush, and they were only slightly off on the wide receiver side. With the exception of Ladd McConkey for the Chargers. Old boy from TCU did the same thing when he played Georgia Championship game. He dropped the ball, put it on the carpet. It's the same thing he did. They're missing pieces. I think they were playing more with house money to make it as far as they did with a first year head coach. They were playing with house money.
I agree with that part.
So all is needed now is Harbaugh is going to fix the offensive line. He's going to add a wide receiver.
The offensive line wasn't the problem for them. The offensive line is not the problem. They have a great offensive line. They have an offensive line that will root you out and move you against your will.
I mean,
because don't forget they were a running team this year.
See, but 3 of those picks were bad throws. I'll give him one where Disley dropped it and it went into the
it popped up into the air.
But 3 of those picks were just bad throws. That's what I'm saying. And that's not what you expect. This guy was, like I said, was being heralded as a top 6, top 7 quarterback in the league. And I didn't see that. I mean, I see it by the stats, and I'm saying he's a big guy, 6'6", throws the ball. But I'm just saying, other than what looks good, he just wasn't that good when it came. And you're being measured by what you do in the postseason. That's how quarterbacks are made. Different positions can be gained legendary status by a lot of the stats, but the quarterback is about wins and losses and what you do in the playoffs. Peyton Manning didn't become great until he won playoff games.
Well, of
Justin
course,
Herbert was 14 for 32, by the way.
Then that's not good.
No.
So we're not just dragging, people that are cleaning out their lockers. We're actually going to ask the questions: what do they need next year to get back into the playoffs? Because we already know that at least 7 of the teams that are in the playoffs this year will not be back into the playoffs next year. So what do the LA Chargers need to be back in the playoffs? One thing I'm gonna spot out is they need some help at wide receiver.
They do.
Mm-hmm.
And a running back. I mean, and like I said, because J.K. Dobbins, while he had his best year, he still is injury prone.
Yep, he stayed hurt.
This year, he was on IR this year and just came back for the playoffs. So I mean, that's another thing, a durable back. And I think Harbaugh, in fairness to Harbaugh, I don't have a question that he's going to fix it and get the pieces he needs, because that's his track record. That's what we've seen from him in the past. So I think he'll fix it. They're a team that I think is still moving upward, as opposed to getting steady. But I just think it was disrespectful to make the Texans a home dog, and I think they took it. I think they took it personal.
Yeah, and I agree. I actually agree with you. When you look at the team stats from that game, it was like they failed on all different levels.
Yeah.
Total yards. The Texans literally had like almost twice the amount of total yards. Passing yards, it was lopsided. It was a little closer, but what is passing yards when you also got 4 interceptions? So it's like it takes away from that. Rushing yards, it was more than double. I mean, that you got beat, and you got beat bad. And in truth, they actually got beat worse than what the actual score was.
And that's hard to do. That was
32-12
or something like that.
Do they need to bring in a backup quarterback, like a veteran backup quarterback behind Herbert?
I think with Herbert, if you just give him a mentor, because it's like when you come into the playoffs and you fumble, and I'm not saying fumble literally, but when you fumble in that way, it could be nerves, it could be something, I don't know, but he plays well during the regular season. They got to the playoffs, so it's not like, they're 11-7. That's not bad. That's not saying that he's really bad, but maybe it's some coaching, as far as his headspace. What headspace was he in when he got to the playoffs? I do think that the offensive line is a factor as well, because but at the same time, you do need a running back, because why did you have 50 rushing yards in a playoff game?
Yeah, that's usually a way to lose. And like you said, lady, I think that's, you made a good point. I think it's important. A veteran presence. They kind of, because things, what I've noticed with him it's a short sample size, but what I have noticed is when things start to go bad, they just keep going bad. It's like there's no way to stop the bleeding when it goes. He just seems to continue to press, and because some of those, I think, interceptions were just him pressing. And they made the situation worse in regards to trying to claw yourself back in the game. And then once the momentum, momentum is the momentum is a hell of a player. Once he gets on one of those teams, it's hard to get it off that team. And he just when he got on the Texas team, it was impossible to stop it. It was just like trying to stop an avalanche.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that is true.
And Texas stopped the run game. Let's keep it real.
Yeah. No, we're going next.
We're going to Pittsburgh next, Ed.
Oh,
yeah. And the Pittsburgh Steelers played the Baltimore Ravens. This score wound up being 28-14, but it didn't really feel like it was 28-14 game. The Baltimore Ravens seemed to have this game in control, like right from the beginning. Derrick Henry stiff-armed Micah Fitzpatrick straight to vacation. What is it about Pittsburgh? And we got a player here from Pittsburgh, traded midseason. What is it that you guys need next year to get back to the playoffs?
Oh man, that's a loaded question, Pick, because we don't need to know who our quarterback is going to be. Let's start with that part. Who's the quarterback? Are they going to sign Justin Fields? And the thing is, it's a crazy situation because, especially playing the Ravens, in my opinion, you almost see what you want to be in the Ravens. You know what I'm saying? You have Justin Fields, says boy, who seems that has the talents similar, not the same to the same level, but similar talents or same skill set as Lamar Jackson, but definitely doesn't play like Lamar Jackson.
Well, let me jump in here right quick. The fact is this: Tomlin did something that he should have done. He'd have done at halftime. He should have pulled Russell Wilson and brought Justin Fields in. The fact is, they were not scared of Russell Wilson breaking the pocket and running. They were not playing him to run. They were playing him to sit in the pocket. We're going to make this tackle. Every now and then he would go out, but you know what? It's like they was already waiting. Okay, we're going to let him leak out this side here. We're going to tackle him. They were not ready for that. Whereas Justin Fields, at some point, he was like, look, you open up the middle like that with me, I'm going to take them 15, 20 yards, and I'm going to run off. I'm not going to force the ball.
Yeah.
But Russell Wilson wasn't doing that, and they saw it. He's not going to do it. He's going to sit in the pocket. He sat in the pocket. He threw a couple bad passes in a row.
Yeah. But he dropped two dimes. He dropped two dimes.
But let me ask you this over what you said, though. In Mike's defense, if you're down, I think they were down 20, was it 20, 21 nothing? 21-7, something. It was down 2 touchdowns, let me say at least. You know that you need to pass. And Russell's your better passer of the two quarterbacks. So don't you got to kind of lean if you're going to open up the offense and throw more? Don't you got to kind of keep Russ in there to throw if that's what you're going to do and need to do?
No, because
go ahead.
Here, lady, I got to answer that. Go ahead, lady.
Well, I just want to put this out there that if you look at the stats, the Steelers actually passed more. They have more passing yards than the Ravens. Their issue was literally the run game. They had 29. Just like I said in the last game we just talked about, they had 29 rushing yards. That's the team, not one person.
You're right.
That is a problem. So should Russell have run? Yes. That's why if you don't have a run game, you're probably going to lose. Let's just keep it real.
Well, this is true.
And you're right, Dave. Because if you look at the last few years, Super Bowl quarterbacks, what is one thing you've seen out of all of them? They'll take off and run. Mahomes, Purdy before he got hurt.
Purdy didn't win no Super Bowl.
Huh? No, he played in Super Bowl. He won. I'm just saying he played in Super Bowl. That's what he was in the Super Bowl.
I got you, see.
I mean, we were talking about the Eagles. I was like, Jalen was carrying the team on his back and running. You're right.
This is what you're seeing right now. But Russell, that is not what Russell does. One more thing. They had a time in the first half. They got into the red zone. There was a point. That's pretty funny to Jack Black. There was a point where Russell Wilson could have run.
Yep.
Literally could have run for the first down.
And didn't.
He stopped, did like this, and then wait a minute.
You know,
by that point it's too late.
That's exactly what I was saying. When he broke the pocket, he looked to pass as opposed to run.
Yep. Maybe his knee's bad. I don't know.
Don't forget he got knocked out. Don't forget that one a couple of weeks ago when he ran and he didn't get knocked out. He fumbled and cost them a game.
He didn't make it out of babies with Sierra. The legs might be a little weak.
And then let's not take Arthur Smith off. Let's not let Arthur Smith off the hook either.
Right.
When your offensive line is getting beat,
it's
called chip.
Well, he's right.
It's called chip.
And shorten your routes.
Something.
Yeah.
Shorten your routes. Oh, we're gonna get there too.
They didn't do. See, the thing is, he didn't do any of that. I don't want to fling the power around.
I don't know why you're doing it either, John Thompson.
I'm in the kitchen cooking.
You got a lot of John. You got a lot of John Thompson Jr. over there, baby.
John Thompson. But for real, I mean, you got the tackle starting to get beat. Yeah. And instead of them bringing somebody, even if they brought somebody in motion and chipped him on the way out, he didn't do it.
Right.
Which is what he did in Atlanta. If they're being beat on the right side, help the right side.
That's true. You have to adjust, right?
Huh?
I said you're right. You have to adjust in some way, shape, or form. He didn't.
Yeah, this don't let him keep getting beat. You know, they race car off the right side. You're not watching it. We're watching the game too. You're not watching this. You don't see this guy getting beat. Give him some help. Running back chip on the way out. Wide receiver chip on the way out.
Yep.
You know, what was one thing we had a discussion at work with a Steelers fan. I said, what was one thing the Patriots were going to do if you started beating them off one side of the field? They was going to chip you to death. Either one of them tight ends. So what? Hit him anyway. Go out into your route. Hit him anyway. Go out into your route. So at some point, he's looking for that hit from the chip from the tight end, and he's face up on the tackle. You giving your tackle a chance to catch up at that point. This is what Pittsburgh did not do. I'm done.
As we turn around, what is the theatrics? I tell you.
Who up next? Who we got? Who up next?
Yeah.
All right. In locker cleanup, check your phone. In locker cleanout, who we have next?
Call the team out. I got it up here.
Hold on. Who's the?
We had the Broncos.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Oh,
Tampa Bay. I got them too.
Ooh, we ain't no shoulder pads or nothing in there. Look,
man, they butt naked, ain't it?
What?
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers hosted. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers hosted the Washington Commanders. Listen, this game went back and forth. Both teams played well. It seemed like we could not get it seems like neither team could get a stop when they needed it. And it did come down to the one key thing, which was a turnover. a single surefire turnover to I sent it to you, say check the email from me. A single turnover, a mistimed play between Baker Mayfield and his wide receiver on what appeared to be a jet sweep. The Washington Commanders, turnover free. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 1 turnover, ball game. Lady A.
Well,
your thoughts on this game?
These teams were pretty even. It looks like pretty much for me, I feel like it was really nothing Tampa Bay could do at the end of the game. At the end of the game, there was nothing they could do. By then, it was done. It was a done deal. The Washington Commanders are one of those teams that if you're going to beat them, you have to beat them early to the point where they can't come back. And Tampa Bay missed that memo. I'm looking at the passing yards. They have more passing yards than Tampa Bay, obviously more total yards. Rushing yards, it was the Commanders were a little lower. Yards per play, they were a little lower. I mean, ultimately, it was literally that fumble. It was that fumble. That's what it boiled down to. That's what it boiled down to. So Tampa Bay, time of possession was a little lower than the Commanders, and we know that if you control the clock, you're gonna most likely win the game. And they just couldn't do it. It was nothing they can. They just got beat. This is probably out of all the playoff games was pretty equal. Which a lot of people feel like that's a better game, when you have two teams that are very equal. But kudos to my Washington Commanders for that one. But Tampa Bay, in order to address it next year, everybody just has to step up. That's all you can really say. Everybody has to step up, kind of what Doc was saying before. Everybody, you suit up, you step up, because that's the only thing they could have done to really do this, to win that game, is step up earlier in the game.
Lady A, now you as I've said over the last couple of the last week or so, is you were spot on about Bucky Irvin. They seem to have a wide receiver, and what was his name? McCullough, the second wide receiver to Mike Epps, the one that took Chris Godwin's place, who we seem to keep him under wraps a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it seemed as if Tampa Bay's defense, their linebackers fly around, but their secondary was really beat up. So they need some reinforcements in the secondary so they can be back in this spot next year. Mike Evans may come back for a 12th year of 1,000 yards receiving, and he worked really hard to get that this year. Baker Mayfield seems like a solid quarterback that they have there. I don't believe Tampa has a lot to fix, but they will be playing a first place schedule, which shouldn't faze them because they've done that for the last 4 years. Because they've been a division winner straight 4 years, but they got to fight their division opponent in Atlanta to still reign over that division. So for Tampa, I don't see them having a lot to fix. Does anyone else see a lot of things that they need to fix there?
They just need to elevate, just step it up.
But two things surprised me about this game, and I'm not hating anything, but I say this to say there's two important things that I'm surprised with Tampa, because I would expect it out of the inexperienced team being the Commanders, and not the perennial playoff team over the last couple of years being Tampa Bay. Two plays. One was the fumble.
Mm-hmm.
They hadn't fumbled all year on that play. Baker Mayfield said in his post-game presser about that. But the second thing was, you got a center who forgets the snap count.
Oh, you are right.
That was weird. Yeah,
you're right.
And that was a third one. You handed to Bucky Irvin or whatever, when you get the first down, it may change the whole complexity of the game. But how does your center forget the snap count? And that goes to mistakes. And
I'm gonna tell you something.
Ready for the moment.
I'm gonna tell you something. I heard this earlier. I heard that the first half you play pretty free. right? You played pretty fair in the first half. Well, at halftime, the score was 10-10. This is a 0-0 ball game.
Right.
In the third quarter is where the nerves start to come out because I can't make a mistake. I can't do this, can't do that. And look at when the fumble and the snap happened, right? That was in the fourth quarter. The Washington Commanders, right? The Washington Commanders have been excelling in the fourth quarter in one-score games for the last month. This is like the fifth week in a row that they've done this, right? For the Tampa Bay Buccaneers all season, if they were not ahead at the end of the first quarter, they won one game when they had trailed, and that was versus New Orleans, and they got that game back in hand. And I think it was like the second quarter, right? Because New Orleans jumped out fast on them in the second quarter. So in the third quarter, those nerves weren't there for Tampa Bay. They had so basically what I'm getting at is they hadn't been battle tested, because if they were down, they stayed down. They never got up off the mat. Yeah. Right. All right. I think we dealt with that one. Okay, Sid.
If they don't fumble, they may win that game or at least go to overtime. They don't give you all that time on the clock. But they don't fumble. They're not fumble. If he snaps that ball in the correct and they get the first down, they control the clock and they still have to score that field goal or a touchdown, which could have won, or they don't give you all 4 minutes to go down the field and milk the clock. That's I mean, but like I said, but I would expect that from an experienced team in the playoffs, not a team that's supposedly the veteran of the two teams, or the playoff veterans, should I say.
Okay, Sid, now it's time to ride that pony.
What? He's talking about the Broncos, I guess.
Of course.
Pause. No mas.
No.
Buffalo. There you go. You're back on my side of town again.
The Buffalo Bills had no challenge. They welcomed the Denver Broncos from one cold weather city to another cold weather city, and they promptly told Bo Nix, "You're not ready to play at this level." They threw the ball, they ran the ball, they did what they wanted. Josh Allen got that team on his back. I believe he just came in and said, "I'm going to take over this game right now," and he did that. Especially after he saw Lamar perform the night before, right? Yeah. He saw Lamar perform the night before, and he came out and had another MVP type deal himself. Denver, Sean Payton seemed overmatched. The offensive line seemed overmatched. The defensive line seemed overmatched. The secondary had no clue what was going on. And poor Bo Nix.
Oh,
I think he was seeing ghosts.
Corey going in the timeout, but go ahead. Put that up there.
Oh, man. Please don't. Yeah, please don't.
I'm not putting that up.
Corey off the chain.
Corey stays off the chain. Okay, so Denver. Al, I know you watched this game from start to finish.
I think.
Don't tell us about it.
I mean, I'll go for sure. Denver started off you saw what Sean Payton is very good about, scripting plays.
Yep.
Off hat. But 31 unanswered points is all I'll say to you. I mean, that just shows a talent deficit. I think the better team, better quarterback, and playing at home, all those things helped out. I mean, Josh Allen showed why he's on a lot of people's ballot to be the favorite for MVP. I think it's still going to be a tough race. I think even though Lamar has gone back to the favorite, I think he showed why he's one of the top quarterbacks. And I think Buffalo dominated that game in almost every facet you could after the first quarter.
Yeah, I completely agree. I feel like the Broncos came to the game, right? They showed up, and then after the first quarter, they went home. Like that's they were there to sight.
They were sent home. I wonder if they went. They ain't go willingly, but they were sent home.
No, I feel like they didn't put enough effort to be saying that they were sent home. No, they were. They just was like, all right, we out. That's how I feel. I mean, this game. Let me pull up these team stats. It was so lopsided. It's ridiculous. Yeah. Total yards almost doubled. Passing yards almost doubled. Rushing yards more than doubled. Yards per play. I mean, they didn't really have that many attempts, but like it was literally bless your heart. Time of possession was 18-17 for Denver, and the Bills was 41-43. Like, come on now. Y'all just went home. Yeah. They played one quarter.
Yeah, I mean the Broncos. Like I said, I don't like this matchup this week for the Bills, but I think the Denver was a tailor-made matchup for the Broncos because it played to their strengths, and we'll see how that works out. Of course,
wait, you say Denver was a tailor-made matchup for the Broncos?
I'm sorry, for the Bills. Excuse me, I misspoke. For the Bills, and it played to the Bills' strength. So yeah, I mean. It'll be a little bit different situation this year with Lamar and them coming to town because they've been Josh Allen's nemesis over the like Josh has been Mahomes' nemesis in the regular season. Mm-hmm. The Buffalo's nemesis has been the Ravens. It's been a thorn they can't get out of their tail.
Hold on, question.
Sure.
So the Denver Broncos got into this game because since the Kansas City they rested everybody.
Yep.
Would this have been a better game had Cincinnati with the Buffalo?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
And could Josh Allen be the one going home?
Mm-hmm. Very well could have been because against a hot Cincinnati team that knows how to win in Buffalo, that's not scared to play in Buffalo. And last time they was in Buffalo, had a dominating performance.
Yep.
So then that would have set up Cincinnati, KC, and Baltimore. Would have had a different. So KC said, no, thank you. Cincinnati, you put your fate in our hands, and we're gonna make you play squid games and you lose. What does Denver need to get back to the playoffs next year?
A lot.
Hello.
Hi.
She's so
Denver needs a lot. I'm gonna be real with you. They played like they didn't deserve to be there. So if they want to make it back to the playoffs next year, what they really need to do is, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if they need to get rid of people or they just need to go back to the drawing board with coaching and
they have a good defense. Denver has a good defense. They have some pieces. They got some good cornerbacks. They got a couple of good pass rushers. Right? They have some pieces.
They didn't.
According to this game, this is not all season though. But they have some.
I'm not gonna be that hard on them, lady. You being hard on it.
I'm just being real though.
The Chargers.
But we looking at this game and we're like, okay, this is the first round of the playoffs, right? First round, and they lost, and it was kind of embarrassing because, like I said, they only played 18 minutes and 17 seconds of the game.
You act like Buffalo is not 13-4,
but they got to step it up. You got to step it up. You can't do that.
I got a question. What you're saying, lady, and say, give me your opinion on this. That's a very important thing about what they need to do to get better. Because will there be 3 teams from this division that come into the playoffs next year? Right. Most likely not. So you got Denver, the Chiefs, and the Chargers, all the same division that came into the playoffs this year.
Right.
They're like the NFC North on this side. Where do you go? Because most likely, as history has showed us, there's going to be a big overhaul in regards to the teams that make the playoffs. Like Pick said, I think 7 teams this year, from this 7 won't be here next year, most likely. And definitely 3 from each of those divisions. So, like you said, I know Denver and Chargers have will they be able to repeat next year potentially? Or
not playing like that.
Okay.
Nope.
Denver, the Chargers, and KC. We know who runs that division. That's KC. So we expect to see them back. Yeah. We already said the Chargers, they don't have far to go. So it looks like Denver is going to be the odd man out next year coming out of that division.
That's if they don't. They got to address with the wide receiver position, man. They got rid of Judy. It was Judy, yeah. And they gotta add somebody with some speed and hands. That's gonna help them.
Why did they get rid of Judy? I still don't. I mean, I guess
he's part of the class with Sean Payton.
I mean, I understand Sean like his own way, but I mean,
I'm just telling you.
I mean, when when he wanted to play, he played it. Maybe that was the problem. But I thought Judy, when he had some good, very big games, especially against them, when Cleveland played them.
All right. Locker room clean out. Who's next? Said I'm gonna tell you. The Green Bay Packers. Ooh. The youngest team in football, the Green Bay Packers, showed that they are not ready for the big stage when they went up against the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, this was a tough game, but when I mean by they didn't show that they're ready for the big stages, the Green Bay Packers made a bunch of just crazy penalties. You can't go on the road and make mistakes and expect to win, especially when it's hard to come back from, when you got to bottle up Saquon Barkley, when you got to bottle up Jalen Hurts, when you got to lock down this wide receiver core that the Philadelphia Eagles have, and then you're going in with the depleted wide receiver core. Jacobs ran out of his mind. He did. He ran out of his mind here. You had a wide receiver, AJ Brown, that was on the sideline reading a book because they locked him up.
Yeah, Saquon giving up 75-yard runs, saying, "I'm done, man. Let's go ahead and take this in." Man. I don't understand none of this.
Well, and let's not forget now the turnovers, man. The turnovers didn't help at all either. This is the first one.
Hey, hold on. Let me tell y'all something. He hit Darius Slay square in the number 2. It looked like Darius Slay ran the route for
it was embarrassing.
Hey, yeah, he did. Hit him in stride.
Do y'all think the injuries and the whole momentum, the injuries, having your quarterback a little banged up, losing your wide receiver, do you think that tempered with the morale of the team, or just had them kind of – because truthfully, anybody watched that game, Philly didn't play very well.
They did not.
They didn't play like Philly.
Hurts didn't play that well. Let me say that. But I wonder if they just had some bad juju, as I think Jay Black said earlier. But I might be giving it y'all.
Yeah.
So maybe
I'm gonna be real with you, Al. You made it to the playoffs. I don't care what your morale is. It needs to step up to a whole nother level when you make it to the playoffs.
You got to bring the juice.
You're professional. So, I understand that, sometimes you get in your own head, but 11-7. That's come on now. Let's get it together. Act like we
11-7. What's that?
Their record.
I thought they had the same record as you all, right?
12-5. They're not 11-7 because that's 18 games. It's only.
Well, he lost the 18 games. What she's saying. They lost. She's counting the loss for the. They lost.
She counted the loss. Yeah,
they only lost the 2 teams outside of. They only lost outside of that loss.
She's talking about Green Bay.
Green Bay only lost to 2 teams all year, I thought. Outside of Chicago.
No.
They lost twice to Philly.
No.
And twice to
Green Bay.
They were 11-6.
They lost
Green
twice
Bay.
to Philly.
They ended their season 11-6.
Right. Okay.
So
they lost twice to
Minnesota. So they lost 6 games.
They lost to the Lions. They beat the Seahawks. They lost to the Saints. Hold on. Wait a minute. Wait.
No, what I'm saying is they lost twice to Minnesota, twice to Detroit.
They lost to Philly. They lost to Philly in the first game of the season.
Yes.
Right. Then they went and beat the Colts, beat the Titans.
Green Bay, they only won one game in the division. That's what he's saying.
Lost to the Vikings. Yeah, they only won one game in the division.
Right. What I'm saying is they technically lost 6 games to 3 teams of the 7 games they lost this year, outside of the Chicago game.
Right. But it looked like Jordan loved interception.
Jordan Love looked like he was colorblind. They got green on.
Jordan loves interception. Well, you're right, but he wasn't colorblind if that's the case. Let's keep it real.
But he was hitting Philadelphia wide receivers.
I forgot.
I'm sorry. He was hitting Philadelphia defensive backs, linebackers, they wide open.
He forgot which uniform they were playing there. He forgot which uniform they were playing. You see, he hadn't played the Eagles since the first week, so he forgot. That's what it was.
All right. What do the Packers need to get back into the playoffs next year?
Change divisions.
Oh my God!
They need everybody healthy. They was already down 2 wide receivers at the beginning of the game.
They need more depth. They absolutely need more depth. They need they got a running back. They got a running back and a dog. They got a running back that's a dog. They got wide receivers. They have wide receivers. They need depth because when they started getting injuries, and they got to keep Jordan Love upright. But he can't play this bad in the playoffs.
And to stop throwing the ball to the other people. Yeah,
that's the question too. Is Jordan Love the answer there?
No,
because he just got played like the answer.
They had 4 turnovers. 3 came from Jordan.
Look at him in big games. I'm not impressed with him in big games during the season or in the playoffs. I mean, I know everybody was screaming everything for him last year, how he whooped up on the Cowboys. But other than that game, and I mean how he finished last season, this season wasn't when he was expected to take that next step. I don't know that he made it.
Yeah.
So like Corey and said, and everybody said, 1-5 in the division. You really shouldn't be in the playoffs.
You right.
But they play in a good division. That's what saved them.
And I do feel like they also they had 85 yards for penalties. They need to fix that too.
That's a mental thing. Yeah, they need that.
And they are the youngest team in the NFL too.
They need more discipline, and that's where we at.
Not a lot of vets on that team. All right. Are we ready? Say it. We got who's the last team? Oh, wait, my bad.
My man crab legs.
Hey, locker cleaned out for the last team, the Minnesota Vikings.
Wow.
The Minnesota Vikings went out west and helped the whole West Coast get their mind off of fires.
Thank God.
They started seeing ghosts.
Hey there.
Hey, we talked about Jay Jettison the other day on the live stream, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sam Darnold made sure he was in witness protection program because he would not let the ball go to wide receivers.
I don't get that.
The LA Rams had a sack party. They had a rookie say they didn't even invite me to the party because I'm a rookie. Sacked 9 times.
That's craziness. I thought they were doing a replay and it was a new sack. I was like, oh, my bad. It was awful.
Lady A had the best comment in the chat. She had the best comment in the chat last night. She said, I guess Vegas didn't factor in they doing it for the city.
Right. She did say that.
Yeah.
And boy, oh boy, was they playing.
But not just that. The fact is, they had already lost twice to Detroit, and they already lost to the Rams once before.
Mm-hmm.
The bad thing with them was the Rams getting that bye week gave them the chance to get them 3 wide receivers.
But Cooper Kupp was invisible yesterday.
Yeah, one big catch.
Until Puka went down for a second, and guess who got the next catch? Cooper Kupp.
Cooper Kupp, yeah.
Well,
so as long as Puka's on the field,
I might go up to him pick because he might be on the move next year.
Who? He's on a rookie contract. He ain't going away.
Oh, not Puka. Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp a little expensive, Sid.
Not unless they win the championship. They win the championship to he'll probably stay.
Yeah.
He'll probably leave him. So he'll probably leave him with the chip.
I'm saying for move, they might move him for salary cap reasons because they are strapped. And with Puka emerging,
I thought they was out of salary cap.
Man, come on, you know the salary cap ain't real.
Well, here we go.
They need to in an effort to always get better. That may be a move that they may try to send him back east to y'all.
Back east
to who?
How old is he?
He ain't got no wheels. We can't use him. He ain't got no wheels.
Oh, you talking about? I wasn't talking about Atlanta. Said I'm sending him.
He was talking about the Commanders.
I was about to say.
Yeah, he always got.
Why y'all keep trying to saddle up with 50-year-old wide receivers?
The Rams, the Patriots are. Oh no, hold on a second. I'll take that
back. Got plenty money. Patriots got plenty.
No, they're in the middle. They're in the middle of the pack. The Saints is the one that's strapped. Is money strapped. Saints, Browns, Seahawks, Dolphins, and Falcons.
Are y'all strapped for cash?
Yeah.
Say it.
Yeah. Of course, it's Trevor Cat.
Hey, Kirk
You
Cousins.
know how they Kirk on
Cousins
the
be winning in free
Kirk
agency,
comes
boy.
over there collecting checks.
You ain't got no money. That's what
Kirk
it is.
Cousins be winning in free agency, don't he, boy? He winning free agency.
I need his agent ASAP.
I promise you.
You think you're a free
Might-
no,
yeah, we
Lady
might get
A.
some
You
budget
never
money
make
to
it to
get
free
him.
agency. You
Right.
never gonna make it to free agency, Lady A. You never make it into free agency. Never gonna make it. You're locked in the first string podcast. All right.
Oh, I heard that
Listen.
comment too when I was right. I am a
We
free.
$7 million. Matter of fact, we $7 million in the red.
I heard that comment pick too.
Always a free
Yeah,
agent.
you heard it too. Yeah, we're gonna renegotiate this.
Always a free
That-
agent.
I mean,
I had to
She
be
always
like,
looking for a bump in pay.
oh yeah.
Well, carrying
Yeah,
$65 million in dead money.
The question here really is about Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold had a really good season. He performed way above his head. Everybody kept waiting for the other shoe to drop for Sam Darnold. Well, when you get in the playoffs and the intensity goes up, the level of competition goes up because there are no slouches in the playoffs. Sam, he wouldn't let go of the ball. Minnesota didn't run the ball the way they needed to because the LA Rams are a team that you can run the ball on. But I have to look at I got to look at KOC a little bit because where are the shorter routes? Why are you not shortening up the routes? Where's the quick game at to get you back into this game? Because before you knew it, you were overwhelmed. Like you got to take the ball out of Sam's hand a little bit, let him catch his footing. It's like a prize fighter that got punched and he stumbled. He can't wait for the bell to ring, just survive the round. You never
the
help
blueprint
him survive the round.
Well, one thing I want to point out to you, Pick. Actually, Minnesota had more rushing yards than the Rams did. They had 106. The Rams had 90. So I think that,
you should have ran the ball.
Well, I mean, they did. That's the thing, and they had more.
How many passing attempts did Darnold have?
Hold on, let me go back to the player.
But I think the blueprint.
He's 25 for 40.
40 passing attempts.
Mm-hmm. So he was 25.
Score kind of dictated that too, Pick. You know what I'm saying? When I think that because they were still down, they had to throw the ball.
I think they were down 10-0. It came out pass, punt.
But for once, their time of possession was actually more than the Rams, which you normally don't see for the losing team, especially when you lose by more than one possession.
That's true.
So, I mean, they just got beat. That's as simple as that. They just got beat.
When you take away the number one wide receiver, because they doubled. They said he is not going to beat us. They doubled Justin Jefferson.
But back to what you said though, Pick. KOC has to answer one question for me. The blueprint of how to beat the Rams was right there in front of you because it was the blueprint that the Rams was using against them. Mm-hmm. You want to blitz us all day? We're going to run shorter routes, quick routes. We're going to run a lot of dig routes, quick crosses. It was right there. When your quarterback is sitting there getting bullseye, get bullseye with darts all day, getting sacked all day, I don't know how you don't change that to say, okay, I can't go. They went deeper routes, which was the craziest thing in the world. They threw deeper balls as opposed to shortening the routes, making him with a 7-step drops for the 5. And I just didn't understand how you see what they game plans against you. Now that because they expect you to come after their quarterback quickly. They're getting at your quarterback quickly. Why are you still dropping back 5 and 7-step drops?
I'm going to tell you, when you look at the team stats, you would not, if you just looked at the team stats, you would not think that this game was the way it was.
Yeah.
Like it's absolute first downs. Vikings had 20, Rams had 16.
Yeah, because LA was scoring on defense.
Right.
Turnovers.
That's what I'm saying.
Short fields. They had short fields.
Mm-hmm. And you have one fumble, Minnesota obviously, and one interception. Rams had no turnovers. So, but this, you're right. The sacks allowed, absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
Absolutely crazy.
So the Minnesota Vikings have a bit of a quarterback conundrum.
Mm-hmm.
Right. You got your rookie. You got a rookie who hurt himself re-injured himself. You got to put him through the offseason paces, right, to see if he can come back better. Do you pay Sam Darnold, who's on a 1-year contract? Do you pay him? And what type of contract do you bring him back to compete with your rookie?
I mean, go ahead.
I want to say one thing. That was surprising to me. This is what you're saying. They said Sam Darnold's before the last 2 games against Detroit and Rams, his value in the free agent market was $54 million a year.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's barely 40.
Yep. Just because of that game.
It cost him almost $15 million a year.
But keep in mind, I'm just gonna put it out there. If your quarterback got sacked 9 times, you need an offensive line. So I feel like that is just absolutely awful. Because
I know a couple of those sacks came off of corner blitzes, right? It was like he just wasn't reading the defense. Like you know what I mean?
His wide receivers would turn around, pick.
After a certain point, you just know you just gonna get hit. He should have just curled up in the ball and
his clock wasn't going off. You're right. He
because
right
I mean, you don't have an offensive line. That's what I see. I watched the game. He didn't have an offensive line. Every time I turned around, this man was getting run over. Like, how do you do that? So I mean, I'm just gonna keep it real. Sam, this particular season, he overcame a lot. To my understanding, and to I'm sure you guys have followed this as well. You start off the season, he's behind the rookie. He's number 2, right?
Yep.
Rookie gets hurt, he steps up.
Yep.
This team went 14-3. I don't pay the man.
That count for something, but has he become the pumpkin though, lady? I keep saying pumpkin.
Well, I'm gonna say this: if you imagine what he would be able to do with an actual offensive line,
but they were a good offensive line for 17 games prior
to this game. They did not show up to the game.
That's petty, Jay Black.
Right. Bieniemy has some factors off the field in the office that
I don't know if we can keep defending Bieniemy the way we want to.
I'm not trying to.
What happened over at UCLA?
I'm just talking about when he came over to our team. When he went to UCLA, I don't even know why he went there, but that's not my business.
That's called a buddy call. Foster called his buddy.
That's what it seemed like.
This is what I know. Kirk Cousins had Minnesota in a good position last year, right? The year prior. Sam Darnold had Minnesota in a good position this year, right? I don't think the problem's the quarterback. I don't think the problem's the quarterback at all. I think the problem may be a little bit of KOC because it seems to be he's a quarterback whisperer. He can have any quarterback looking good, right? He can have him, especially when you got Addison, Jefferson, you got a nice tight end, you have an okay running game, and you got a defense that will always get you the ball back.
Yep.
I think we need the coach to take a little bit of this blame right here on this one, and I believe Minnesota. I know Minnesota should be back in the playoffs next year. Yeah.
I'm gonna say this: you got your QB1 got hurt, right? And then the first,
but we still don't know what he was going to give you because he's a rookie.
Well, hold on, QB1 got hurt. First round of the playoffs, your quarterback gets sacked 9 times. If you don't understand that there are some pieces in front of the quarterback that need to be handled, then I don't know what to say. That's what they need.
I'm in agreement with you. But you can't keep running deeper routes, as Al said. Like you are the head coach and the offensive coordinator or whatever. Somebody's got to tell you, hey, coach, the defensive coordinator or something. Somebody got to say, coach, I know this is your team, but if you don't call some quick game,
right? Because you don't have an offensive line, so he did not understand his own team. If you don't have an offensive line, you're not going to put the quarterback up on the chopping block the way that he did. Like, that's not cool.
You don't like a line
for those plays.
All right. Listen, Al, you ready?
Whenever you are, big guy.
All right. Well, you don't know what time it is. Y'all know what time it is. We're gonna give
Playoff edition, man.
This Corey's favorite.
This is Corey's favorite right here. Corey, get ready. Y'all know what time it is. Listen, my man Al, he stole the card again. He's gonna take his guys out on a trip. They're going golfing. Now it's time we find out who's in Al's foursome.
Good evening, everyone. And well, pick. Guess what, man? The budget's gonna have to get a little big this week. In the foursome, it's the end of the year party.
Oh God. Oh, okay. Hold on.
So the first one on this foursome,
it's gonna be Patty Watch.
No,
okay.
You're gonna be proud of me, Lady A.
Mm-hmm.
The first invitation goes out to the Texans defense.
The whole defense?
The whole defense, pick. You gotta dig in your pocket, pick. You gotta dig in your pocket.
Check my account. Let me check my account.
The black card gotta be out, baby. So 4 interceptions, allowing just 50 yards rushing, and totally dominating in the second half.
Let's get that.
The last drive of the first half through the second half against the Chargers, who were the favorite in that game. So,
are you taking just a starting 11? Like you're not taking it back?
He said, "Get the Amex." That's what he said.
Get the Amex. I don't want a credit card. I want the charge card. I don't want no limit. Get the charge card. I got a whole 11 defense coming.
1.73 mil is what your budget is right now.
The next invitation goes to the Rams defense.
Dang.
No.
A defensive touchdown, interception, and a fumble recovery. I can't just pick one player. They had 8 different players with 9 sacks. You do 9 sacks in the you set the record since the frozen tundra game, I think. Of 86 sack yards, 9 sacks. I got pick is paying. So I got 18 right now, but I'm gonna divide them up in 2 foursomes. So we got half the golf course taken care of.
Yeah. Okay, hold on, wait. Let me talk to Sid real fast. Let me talk to Sid. Hey, Sid.
Accountant.
Sid, this is just between me and you, Sid. This is just between me and you. All right. For the next month, leaking oil is a 2-minute segment, okay? No props, no animation. No, for the next 2 months, Sid, leaking oil is on the hot tea budget.
Whatever. I'm gonna have hot water.
Tea might not have no sweetener.
I'm gonna have water. That's all I'm gonna have. Just hot H2O.
Okay, Al, go ahead.
The next invitation got to go to a perennial player that's been on here several times this year, man. But once they get in the playoffs, you can't have a foursome if you ain't got Derrick Henry this week. 26 turns, 186 yards, 2 tubs, and he was the driving force.
And don't forget the stiff arm.
And the stiff arm. He might be carrying Minka Fitzpatrick on like a golf bag on his shoulder where he was carrying that boy with that stiff arm. So Derek Fitzgerald, welcome to the foursome again, man. Perennial invitation. You might be membership at the club. The next one, y'all gonna be proud of me. Jaden Daniels. I got to invite Jaden.
What? Is this his first time in the foursome?
I think it's like the second.
He might be the second or third. He's been there before. He did it for the game that he had more touchdowns and completions. But let's not digress.
I'm so disappointed.
Hey, Daniel. Game winning drive. No punts, no turnovers. More times this year than Brady, Mahomes, and another quarterback combined. I gotta get first playoff win for the franchise in nearly 7,000 days. I mean, if you do that, 260 yards, 2 tubs, I got to invite you to my force. I want to weigh you out so you lose next week, but that's ulterior motive. But it's like that's not
probably why he being nice because he's trying.
Why he invited him. That's why he invited him.
They like it. Like I said, the comments, she was right.
That is my playoff performance. Al's foursome playoff edition. We expand the invitations.
Right.
I'll stop being so nice to us.
Limited schedule. So Texas defense, Rams defense, Derrick Henry, Jay Downs. You tell me you got a better player or a better invitation. I promise you I'll consider it. But that's my foursome for this week, man.
That was Al's foursome. Now, listen, it's not often that I take the big screen like I am right now, but I'm gonna let y'all know something right here. See, Al to let y'all know it's a playoff edition of the foursome. So you guys want to tune in on Thursday because we have a playoff edition of Level Up. You see the names that we're going to have on Thursday. We got Lou Holder. We're going to have Lake Lewis Jr. We're going to have David Harrison. On Thursday, we're coming at you at 8 o'clock, at 8 p.m. with 3 heavy hitters. So as the professor said last week, it's nothing but a family reunion here. So get in because these guys got to catch flights on Friday for a Saturday game. So Thursday, get here, 8 o'clock for Level Up with Lou Holder, Lake Lewis Jr., David Harrison, and myself. I think Lady A might jump into that one as well. We'll see, because she might have a lot of homework to do. Say it.
Wait, Al, I know you're not talking to us because you are muted.
I was. But say it like he busy at work right there. He got a couple things. He like he's trying to fix a hole.
See, hey, listen, I need you to wake up. Say it. Are you ready? Where's your hat?
Oil that then leaked everywhere. Oh, say you muted. Say it.
My stomach talking to me, player.
Okay. Where's your hat? Oh, that's right. We took the budget away. You can't wear a hat.
Yeah.
That's messed up.
All right, now it's time for y'all's favorite segment of the day. It's leaking oil, which Alden spent the whole budget, so don't expect no graphics, no funny ha-has, and none of that, okay? So, say it. You're not leaking oil. You got a drip, a slow drip right now, okay?
Yeah, a slow drip. Okay, slow drip.
I don't like that at all.
It's called me we'll come back to it. Anyway.
It's chicken grease. That's what you
Notice you ain't got no sponsor. No, there's no sponsor.
The sponsor is the chicken grease on the can in the can on the stove. That's
some reused bacon grease.
You got music playing.
Really sad.
Yes.
That's
we leaking oil as we say goodbye to some of the greatest teams of this year.
Oh my God.
One that really stood out the most and laid an egg.
Oh.
The Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh Steelers. Yeah, I'm on Lock and Cleans out, but it's still effective because you know why? They needed this little wrench right here to squeeze the offense in the. You
got props in. We tell you.
You see how you adjust? You see how you adjust? You adjust your offensive line. You see? Arthur Smith, you paying attention? Stick your finger in there. This y'all offense. Y'all offense was trash. Absolutely positively. You left Russell out there. You let Russell cook a little bit too long. He done hatched another egg. He's not just an egg no more. They done put him to the side. And it just disappointing in what happened to him. But you know what? They're just Russ. I got one even better than that. We're gonna slide on out to Minnesota.
Oh no.
Why Minnesota? This is Minnesota offense.
I don't like this not having no budget.
For those in the back who didn't see it, this is Minnesota offense.
Take the chip.
I got chips.
That thing's crap.
Hey, they went out there and got their open. They went out there and got beat by a team who ain't had no house because it's on fire.
I'm too soon.
Too soon.
So, that's a fact.
I digress. I take it back.
That's a fact.
But we're gonna move on. We're gonna slide on out to Denver. While we're going out to Denver, I got something for Sean Payton and his quarterback.
What?
Y'all stink. Your offense stink. This y'all offense right here. It stink.
How many hours did that deodorant last? Said
it stink. Don't try to hold it back, Al. It's okay. I know you want to laugh at Sean Payton offense. This is offense right here. It stink.
How many hours on that deodorant said?
Hey, it is what it is, you know. And I will say this though. I'm sorry, still playing the background. My bad. My bad. Hey, I will say this though. I will give the Commanders their credit.
Wait a minute. I don't like
it was
this
one of the
lady.
most interesting games we had all week long. I'm not a Tampa fan, so I was happy to see y'all beat on Tampa. It is what it is. Mm-hmm. We should have done it. We didn't do it. We didn't make the playoffs because we didn't handle our business. It is what it is. They're at home watching TV like everybody else. Matter of fact, Atlanta's at home doing this right here. What are we going on vacation?
Oh, man. What is that?
What, Africa? What is that? Is that a deer?
What is that? What he got?
That's a rhinoceros. Run!
What?
Yeah.
Run.
Oh, I'm on one today. You don't even know. Last but not least.
Oh my goodness.
The Aaron Rodgers-less Green Bay Packers.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Matter of fact, this. I lost my prop. What I do with my prop?
He got more prop. That credit card still working, Pitt.
As a matter of fact, this is how Green Bay offense started.
What?
A drill. That's all I got out of that. That's it. Offense showed up, showed out. That's all I got out of that is a drill.
What?
You need to go see somebody to get that right.
Oh my God. Fine.
You gotta go see somebody.
Fine.
Hey, and let them know it's just a drill. It's just a drill.
It's a 5. That's what it is. It's a 5.
I'm about to say, I got 5 for way less.
That is Leo was saying for the day.
I don't like it.
Hey, you can send all the fines to P.O. Box.
They're about to make up for the budget. Said them pulled out the 8-track.
Hey, he sent me to Dollar Tree. I had to use what I got. He told me your budget was limited to Dollar Tree. I was like, that's it. He said Dollar Tree. Okay, Dollar Tree.
He got eye drops.
All I can do is shake my head, man.
Hey, a piece of chip.
Hey.
This is awful.
Hey, I don't make the news. I just tell y'all what I got. It is what it is. Now, if I really want to be really, really petty though. Oh, I mean, I got a little petty. What's the wrong button? I got a little petty left in me now. I got just a little bit petty in me. No. Sure, I can circle back around to Denver and talk about Denver defense. That was rated number 3 coming in there.
See, this is why I said that's enough. Now you even got triple fine. You even got triple fine.
I can circle back to the defense.
The whole segment was just one big fine. Just terrible.
Lady A, what are you doing?
I like to think.
Lady A.
Pittsburgh Steelers. It's just place under control. Pass out some fines. Do something.
I passed out all the fines.
The inmates are running the asylums. All I can tell y'all, man.
The
warden is not in the building.
Oh, over the place. This is from start to finish. Just nothing but fines.
The warden is
I know who didn't get fined today.
Hey.
This is our first show in the new year.
You know I'm going to start doing League of Oil at the beginning of the show. Hey, just give me coming out the gate.
All right, listen.
I'm gonna have a problem this weekend though. Next week, I'm gonna have real problem next week.
I don't know where you get these props from. Listen,
you getting a donation?
I'm reporting.
Or you gonna sell that 8-track tape player you had that song playing on?
I'm boys, the men went on an 8-track, girl. That was iPod.
That was not on iPod. Let's keep it real.
That was a
cassette. You have to shake him a cup. Needle of change.
You better do something strange for
Needle of change. Needle of change. Needle of change.
24 tea times to pay for this week. 25.
Oh my goodness.
Needle of change.
Thank you all for watching and sticking around to watch Leaking Oil, Al's Foursome. Please join us on Saturday when we have our watch party. We will be watching the Washington Commanders take on the Detroit Lions. I'm pretty sure that Al and Sid have collaborated to.
Christmas has come early, Sid. Thank you.
Don't be nice to us.
Oh, don't you worry about that Saturday.
Don't be nice to us. We need your hatred.
Just so y'all know, I'm gonna tell y'all a little something, okay? I'm gonna take y'all behind the scenes. I think Bruce has been in our chat a couple of times. Listen, these two right here, they go at it in the chat. Yep.
Yeah, her.
Yep, you two, they be going at it in the chat.
Because she doesn't appreciate my unbiased opinions.
You are not unbiased. Everybody knows that.
Everybody on the podcast knows I'm here for my unbiased, fair.
And that's
I congratulated y'all today.
Well,
we'll see because you're trying to jinx us.
We'll see you guys on Saturday. Special edition of Level Up on Thursday, 8:00. Lou Holder, Lake Lewis Jr., and our guy, David Harrison. All right. Please tune into that. Get the latest and greatest for the Washington Commanders before they head off to Detroit. It's going to be a quick one because, like I said, these guys have early flights on Friday. So make sure you check in with us. And then we'll see you for our watch party on Saturday. Well, we would, at that point, know which one team will be in the AFC Championship and one team that'll be in the NFC Championship. So we'll see you all then. Said, did we cover it all? All the fines and everything else too?
Oh, now the fines will be out tomorrow. I had changed my address. And my background's still the same.
It is still the same. You forgot to put that up.
Wait a minute.
No, don't try to do it now. No, it's too late. And the fan is still moving, so don't even try to pretend it got frozen.
All right. Yeah, out to my son, United States Air Force, First Street Podcast, second to none. Come get some. Tell him, say it.
Go Dogs.
Fines are us. Raise hell.
It's wartime, baby. This what you signed up for. This what we worked hard for. You for. Y'all the first string. Y'all gotta go set the tone now. Hey, let's go. Lace them up. It's the First String Podcast Show. Hey, let's go. They spitting facts on the First String Podcast Show. Hey, let's go. Let's go. Hey, let's go. 'Cause it's time for the First String Podcast Show. Hey, let's go. Lace them up. It's the First String Podcast Show. Hey, let's go. They spitting facts on the First String Podcast Show. Imagine talking sports, having fun with the fam. At a starting lineup, First String is what you have. An entertaining stream with the Pro Bowl cash. When the viewers chime in, they gon' answer what you ask. Representing for the Queens, yeah, we got Lady A. A super knowledgeable woman who can break down any play. Said from the South, so he read GA. The Falcons, the Bulldogs, the whole Peach State. Drunk Uncle Al, only way you can describe him. Every time he crack the mic, you know he gon' be wildin'. Last but not least, it's my man Toothpick. Commanders is a squad and he the captain of the ship. So if you feel the vibe, go ahead and tune in.